Well, that's like a lawsuit waiting.
It's a lawsuit waiting.
I mean, like, well, let me have you sign 20 different waivers.
All right, guys, here we are with another fun-filled episode of Moto Stories with Unkie Phil. Now, I got to tell you, thank you so much for watching these videos. We appreciate you bringing us into your home and hearth, and in the comments we've been getting, excellent.
Analytics off the charts. People watching the whole thing.
Yeah,
we really appreciate that.
It's better than
suffering through
exactly suffering through the very bitter end, getting that nice crusty nougat that is in the middle of each one of these delicious samples of tasty stories from me. Again, one of my favorite humans, John Meckelfresh. We have met because we both work on motorcycles.
Yes.
And this is how we became friends.
Started way back in 1917.
We have been working on motorcycles together a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And there's been times when John has worked at our shop. And there's also been times when I've called John. He was my phone a friend when I got knee deep in a project I couldn't handle. John,
I've got this CB750. We've been through it top to bottom. It doesn't want to run right. Can I drop it off at your house? Just take a look at it, see what you can do for it.
And that happens in the world of motorcycle, especially vintage motorcycles. Sometimes we need to take the pressure off and we'll farm a job out.
Sometimes mom and pop need a cottage industry to back them up.
Boy, and if you can find that guy in your town that works on the vintage motorcycles and he's good at it, you give that guy your love and your money, because that guy, we call John the Honda Whisperer for a reason. Shh. Exactly. And John can talk to an old Honda motorcycle.
Tell me what's wrong. Tell me all your problems. I'm here. I'm listening.
It's so true. And it's great to call when we need diagnostic help. I love calling John in because John's just like, well, now hold on. Did you think about this? And I'm like, no, I didn't even think about that, man. So that's great, having a resource like that, but then also having a good buddy that you can literally...
Well, and it's too, it's like you get to a certain level in the game where when you can't figure it out, it's a problem.
Yeah,
because, if Phil can't figure it out and he's coming to me, we know it's a problem.
And between the two half-asses, we'll generally make a whole ass of ourselves at some point. So it's pretty good.
Speak for yourself.
That's it. So one of the things we wanted to talk about is a really hot button topic in the motorcycle world, and that is the dark side. And
dun, dun, dun.
Oh man, the dark side, many people have come to blows over the dark side. And what the dark side means is taking off the motorcycle tire that the engineers decided was the right thing. Motorcycle tires are curvy, got the curves like the woman. Now, and taking that off and putting on a car tire.
Why? Wait.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I know. So this for us can be crazy because John and I have ridden motorcycles since we were children. And we've always thought that the coolest thing about motorcycles is leaning that baby over and just giving her, right? Yeah. And the idea of a square aspect ratio... This is what gets us away from
the cops.
That's true.
We can get into a car.
We can do one thing a car can't do, and that is decrease the radius of the curve because we can lean the motorcycle over. Those physics are amazing. But the dark side is when you say, yeah, sure, that's true, but I want to get more than 4,000 or 5,000 miles out of the back tire of my motorcycle. And so, don't they sell car tires that are rated to like 40,000 miles?
Hey, that's a brilliant idea.
And I did check. The guy at the motorcycle shop, the dealership, he charged me $162 for the back tire on my whatever, wing ding. That son of a... The guy down at Firestone's got a tire for $62 that is also 15 or 16 or 17 inches. And that's how it starts. It's people being tight. And,
But the big problem is a motorcycle tire is like this.
Yeah, right.
A car tire is like this.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's like,
it is L7.
Unless it's a sidecar rig, which is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, and that's true.
You really shouldn't be doing this.
Right. And sidecar rigs, the bike's not leaning to the right. You might get some lean on the left. But I can understand having a car tire in the front and a car tire in the back and a car tire on the rig. Rock on, baby. A lot of the people we race with have sidecar rigs.
Perfectly acceptable.
And that's perfectly acceptable. But this thing started in the big bike touring community. It started in the big Goldwing community. And the idea is these guys who are putting 25 or 30,000 miles a year on the bike don't want to spend the money on 5 or 6 expensive back tires.
But let's say this could be a viable and good idea. In my opinion, if I was going to put a car tire, I wouldn't put a car tire. I would put a trailer tire on my motorcycle.
Sure. Yeah.
You know why I would put a trailer tire? Because a lot of the trailer tires actually have a fairly
Got a pretty good crown on them.
A round profile on them. They're kind of sort of, and
they tend to be a bias ply, which tends to hold the weight better. It tends to take the weight and deflect under the weight so that you get a better contact patch on the road. Now, here's the weird thing. I've had a number of customers through the shop that have insisted, and this is a story. So a few years ago, we get a phone call very, very, very late at night. And it's a husband and wife team, and they're going from a Americade in New York back to their home in Colorado. And I get this phone call, says, yeah, we're on the side of the road. We got a blown rear tire. That Mai Tai's pretty good, isn't it?
Delicioso.
That's why we're doing the Hawaiian shirts. It is February in Cleveland, so we decided to get tropical and the Mai Tais.
Fantastic.
You guys know I like a cocktail. So, and John does too. So
Cocktail,
we get this phone call after hours, like we're closing down. And these folks are like, we need your help. You got to hook us up. And you'll know if you call our shop and you're riding on the road and you break down, we've always gone out of our way to help people. We'll go out, pick you up, trailer, whatever you need. We'll get you in the shop. You may walk in, but you're going to ride out, right?
Yeah,
we take care of people. We work hard. And so these folks, their bike arrived on a rollback. And it was a Goldwing, probably 15 years old.
Yeah.
And it had a trailer behind it. And this whole thing was on the rail rollback, front to back. It must have been 18 feet long.
If you're really thinking, you put the same tires and wheels on the trailer.
On the trailer that you do on the bike.
On the bike.
You have a spare waiting for you. I love it. This customer calls this future customer calls and explains to us the situation. So we are only too happy to help and wait around. So we wait around quite a while for the rollback to show up. And the good news was the guy was smart and he had AMA membership, and that gave him a free tow. But I don't think anybody at the American Motorcyclists Association thought the tow would involve a rollback.
All right.
So they got this thing and it showed up in front of our shop, all 18 feet of it.
For anybody who doesn't know anything about, motorcycle shop and what it's like when something comes back on a rollback, it's always boy.
Ooh, boy.
Because you'll find them maybe standing upright.
If you're lucky.
Maybe laying down.
Yeah, most of the time.
Maybe always with a big, huge 4-inch strap over the bike, cranked down as hard as it will go.
Like a chain or a cable.
Yeah.
And then a 10-ton winch just pulled the motorcycle down onto the rollback.
You've heard the stories where police have had a motorcycle impounded and they just picked it up with the hook and dangled it. That's what we think of when we think of it came in on a rollback. It came on
a rollback. And we got the bike off and the back tire was flat as a pancake. But we noticed when we were pulling it off this rollback, we noticed that this thing had a car tire on it. And because it's really hard to push. It was really hard to push. It was really hard to move around, not just because it had a trailer and it was a Goldwing and it had 7,000 pounds of luggage on it. And I will admit, the pilot and the passenger were your typical Goldwing operators. They were, So they were representatives of the Wisconsin state. And we moved that bike in, we got it in, and we, of course, when they called us, I went to the trouble of checking. So when they called, I immediately checked to see if we had the tire in stock for this guy's Goldwing. And we did. We had his tire. We had a Marathon, a good tire. A nice bias ply Marathon for a heavy-duty touring bike.
Exactly what it should have.
Just what he needed. And so we were very happy that as soon as this bike came in, we were going to be able to get him back on his road very quickly. And my mechanic and I, we'd agreed we were going to hang out late and take care of him. And when they showed up, that was cool. And as soon as we got the bike off, I said, okay, cool, let's get it in. Let's get the bike up on a lift. And if you ever changed a Goldwing back tire, Goldwings are funny because you're like, oh man, a Goldwing back tire. Goldwings are hinged. The whole back of a Goldwing actually magically flips up to access the back tire. It's like a cab over truck going the other way. And it's the funniest thing if you've ever done a Goldwing, because actually it takes you more time to move the exhausts than it does to move the back of the bike. But the dude had this trailer hitch on there. So the trailer hitch was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so we were so proud, and I'm trotting across the showroom with this brand new tire, and he goes, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And I said, what do you mean? He goes, that's not what I want. And I said, no, this is totally like the factory put these tires on your bike. You're cool. And he goes, no, dude, I want a car tire. Now, let me tell you a little something about dark side conversions. These guys don't ever use a car tire that you can get down here at Slappy's House of Car Tires. You're not going to go to Walmart and get this car tires. They're always obscene sizes.
Newsflash, a motorcycle rim is this wide.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this wide. A car rim is always at least 8 inches or
it's wide.
bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the tires, when these guys do dark side conversions and put car tires on the back of their motorcycle, they're not exactly super common off-the-shelf tires. And so this is where the problem started. We're like, now, this is the tire we have. This is the tire you're going to get. So then, of course, the customer then, well, hold on. Let me use my phone because I'm smarter than you are. And let me find my car tire for you. That turned into, I think it was 2 days in a hotel. So I think it was 2 days in a hotel they spent because they didn't want us to put a motorcycle tire on their motorcycle. Wow. Okay. But that happened, and that's real. But John, it gets worse. There's this weird motor scooter called an MP3. We have one in the room with us, and if we're not careful, it's going to sneak into the shot at any moment. And an MP3 has 2 wheels on the front, and when you lean the bike over, the wheels do a parallelogram thing. So the wheels actually, the front, it's a reverse trike, and the front wheels stay on the deck at all times.
It's fantastic. It's way better than a 2-wheeled motorcycle under every circumstance.
Fuck you, John. All right. We both work on them, and they're a nightmare.
A nightmare.
So we found a person that came into our shop that had done the dark side conversion to an MP3. So they had put a Mini Cooper rear tire on the back of their 3-wheeled scooter.
Now, we both can have some sympathy for them because we know that an MP3
will chew through a tire
in 5,000 miles.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not getting a lot of mileage. 2 wheels up the front does not help the fact that you only have one in the back.
They do eat tires with an alarming, voracious appetite. And they're really good at 2 things. They're good at falling over when you don't want them to, and they're good at eating a tire.
They eat tires almost as fast as I eat this Mai Tai.
That's pretty cool. And so this customer, and we had to refuse the customer because honestly, that's like a lawsuit waiting. It's a lawsuit waiting. I mean, like, well, let me have you sign 20 different waivers of why I'm going to go ahead and put a car tire on your motorcycle or motor scooter. But John, it gets worse.
What level of hell? Sisyphus.
Well, John, I'm literally dealing with a guy down in Columbus or Cincinnati, one of the many rallies I go to, and dude shows up and he is just proud as punch to show off his car tire on a Vespa GTS. One of the sweetest handling bikes ever built, one of the most perfect. Hand to God, if Jesus himself came down and built a motor scooter, he would build a GTS. It's fast, it's nimble, it's everything is great.
Everything is sporty about that bike. It is fun to ride. I mean,
oh God, and it's fast. It'll go 85 miles an hour, no problem. But this damn thing had a square car tire on the back of it. Now, not to just be a hater, because the internet's full of haters. I took his bike out for a ride. In fact, he grabbed me by the shirt sleeve and said, "I've heard your opinion on dark side. You got to take this for a ride." And he was convinced it was the best handling Vespa GTS in the world because he didn't have to buy a tire every 40,000 miles. I took this thing out for a ride. It was awful.
Keep in mind, there are a lot of people who don't want to super slab their bike because they don't want to get a flat spot
in the middle of their tire.
Otherwise rounded tire. They don't, they don't like it when you bank over and you feel that little warble. What could it possibly be like,
John? It felt
when
like
you have a car tire.
This was the best. The way I can describe this is turn, 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 turn. Oh shit, I'm falling in. And I've never met a motorcycle that tried to kill me as much as that Vespa GTS with a car tire. So,
you should have just fucked up his headset bearings and then made it the perfect combination of fucking bullshit.
It's really, really hard to turn. And then
just make it totally stupid.
And then it dives in. So that's our take on the dark side. Now, I know you're going to hate us now. Well, some of you are. Some of you people are going to hate us.
I frankly don't care if you hate me. If you're a dark sider, if you're putting a car tire on the back of your bike, you can hate me all day long.
If you've got a sidecar rig, we're in it. we're cool. That's great.
I'm good with that.
But if you're going to sit and argue with us, like I hope you do, because we are here to engage conversation. If you have a different opinion than we do regarding this dark side thing, please give us your reasons and examples. Tell us how it's better.
You bought the bike. You knew.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what? All the people I know that travel cross country, that are great motorcycle riders, that I know have done hundreds of thousands of miles, they don't have car tires on their bike.
I think I would almost rather see you take your motorcycle tire down to the threads, to the cords, than put a car tire on it.
Boy, I can't think of the day it would be that I'd be so desperate that I'd be like, well, we don't have the tire I need. Let's throw a car tire on there. So weird, but they're out there. So again, for all you guys that are watching, thank you so much. We do like to say, as always, we are just going to shamelessly beg you to smash a subscribe button because we need that. We're not that big yet. We're not the kind of place that people are like, oh, advertise our product on Moto Stories with Unkie Phil. No, that ain't happening. But we'd like to be there someday.
We're doing this for you.
Yeah. Well, right now we're doing it for each other, honestly.
I'm doing this for the unlimited Mai Tais. That's really the only reason I'm here.
Poured fresh while you wait. But leave us some feedback. Leave us some comments. We will read them. Remember, you can leave us an email if you're so inclined and you want to really, really get on the thing and just click. It's motostorieswithunkyphil@gmail.com. And
okay, so we're doing a Twitch account now, right?
That's so weird.
So we're doing our live Twitch account on our podcast. Yeah. So literally, you could go on there, click, and while we're talking and while you're watching us, we could talk to you.
Our Cleveland Moto podcast has turned a corner. It's so weird now that people are chiming in real time.
We would love to.
It's so much fun. So that's it, man. And again, thank you. First of all, thank you. And subscribe, tell your friends, tell people you don't like so much. We're trying to do our best to give you a good time, and comment. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, ride fast, take chances. Why is it we can't even hear that phrase without doing that? It's so infectious. It's terrible, man.